I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the
Ready?
thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout, and fame.
Hey guys, welcome back to Four Downs with Coach Preston. We are on episode 12 right now, where we talk about flag football, practices, games, youth sports, kids training, NFL, all things football. We're kind of educating you guys on some things you can do to with your kids at home or at practices, what coaches can do to help kids and their teams continually progress. The flag football world is exploding, and we want to be a part of helping you guys out. So we have some sort of topic today that I have no idea about. Coach Mike's going to open us up here. What we got, Coach Mike?
Yes. Hi, Preston. How are you?
Hello.
Good to see you.
Yes.
Good to see you again. So I came across this tweet and I thought it was interesting. I figured I'd bring it up and it could be a main topic for us. And it says here, parents will pay for lessons and take their kids to practice and think that's what's going to make them a ball player. Little do they know, becoming a ball player happens at home. It's how your player lives. It's who they are. Playing catch every day, hitting squishy balls in the house, diving catches on the couch, wall ball, imaginary play, watching the game, talking the game, educating them in the game, make sure they always have a ball in their hand. And then this is more of a baseball reference. It's like, do you play baseball or are you a baseball player? You know, stuff like that. So I saw this and I wanted to get your opinion on it. What are your thoughts on that when it comes to private lessons, when it comes to coaching, when it comes to playing at home? What do you think the right approach is?
I love that because that's where we're at, right? Every time you turn around, kids are in private training and they're specializing, playing one sport. And I do private training for kids, right? And I think there's a lot of value to that. But I think what the post sounds like its references is parents feel like, oh, the only way the kids are going to get better is to get into some sort of private training program and just put them out there.
Right.
But it's not really, right? Like that's a lot of money spent, a lot of hours on that. And when we grew up, we didn't have private training for anything.
No,
No,
that wasn't a thing.
no, you didn't. There was no
Train-
private training and paying for all that. And so we just got better by just doing stuff outside.
Right.
But I can speak for my family and some of the families I know, but I mean, the Xbox and the PlayStation and all that, like the
Mhm.
kids are sedentary these days, man. A lot of times they don't get outside,
Right.
right? So they're just inside and not doing anything, not getting better. And I think the value of, I don't know what he said, like playing catch, throwing the ball on the couch, right? We used to do that.
Right.
We jump on the couch and make diving catches in the living room, right? And learn to catch the ball like that or play outside. Like wiffle ball is a big one that my kids are playing lately.
Mhm.
We live on a corner lot, not a busy street out there, but I'll stand out there and we'll make sure cars are coming, and they'll play wiffle ball in the front yard and run the bases and just hit it out there, right?
Right.
But they're building skills by hitting a wiffle ball that's shaking or moving or curving and things like that. So there's a lot of value for kids just playing sports and just doing little things. And I think the private training, there's a lot of emphasis on that, and I think it can be a lot of wasted money and time if that's all the kids are doing.
Yeah. So, I think that like a lot of fundamentals happen. I think that's accurate at home. Like and then listen, there are times when, hey, I'm tired. I don't want to play. Right. Like I'm good. I'm toast. Right. But the kids can still go out and play catch. They can go out by themselves. I do like the concept of, hey, run and dive. Right. Like our entire house. My wife and I joke all the time. It's our house. We just kind of live on the patio. That's
Yeah,
our
that's about
little
right.
that's our little area, and then everything else is just kind of like the kids' play area, right? So, setting something up where you can kind of play. Like I love playing with the kids if they want to go outside and play basketball, or if they want to go out back and play catch. Like we'll do little quick tournaments where I'm the quarterback, right? And I'll try and get them to run routes, and big brother will play little brother, and sometimes Teddy will go out there as well, and just kind of mixing that in. So, always kind of doing that is important. Now, finding the time, that just kind of starts whenever. It doesn't matter, right? If it happens when you get home from school, you get home from work, right? Right before dinner or after dinner, whatever. It's just you can kind of just screw around and play with them,
Yeah.
right?
Well, and there's two factors. Like, of course, parents are busy. Some
Yep.
parents get home at 6:30 and they're tired. And doesn't mean you do that every night, right? Our
Right.
hope is that parents are interacting with the kids and playing with them some way.
Yeah.
But we'll sit on the couches sometimes, and the kids will be like, "Hey, Dad, can we play catch with the football?" Right? And
Right.
we're 10 feet apart, and I'll say, "Yeah, catch 100 balls," and I'll throw 100 balls at him or 100 tennis balls. Just catch them. It's simple, right? And he's getting better at that. The other thing is, as parents, like our kids do have a PlayStation, they do play it, but like we limit that big time,
Right.
right? And a lot of their time is like, no, you're outside and you're playing. But when they're forced to go outside, they just find things to do and they get better.
Right.
So that's something parents can control. And I think that's super important for these younger kids because they will get locked in behind these screens. We know how addicted they are, right? It's getting them outside to do stuff. But wiffle ball is the new one, and I brought that a minute ago to say that because I was thinking about this the other day. My daughter Molly is almost 5.5, right? She's still in pre-K, and she does everything with her older brothers. And she's out there now, and I'm able to throw an overhand wiffle ball at her from 10 feet away, and she can hit the ball 5 out of 6 times. And that's just because she's been doing that with us over the course of the last 3 or 4 weeks, maybe
Right.
5 days a week, right? And so she's getting better, but that's building her hand-eye coordination. Like if you can hit a baseball or wiffle ball with a bat at that age, right? She catches the football a lot better now. I can tell.
Mhm.
I was throwing her we were playing catch with the egg on Easter the other day, and I was just throwing her the egg, and I was quite surprised that she was like catching this egg like 10 or 11 times, 12 times in a row.
Yeah.
But she only does that because she participates in the wiffle ball game
Right.
or she does the other things with her brothers, right? So I think we just getting the kids to do more things with just sports and balls will help them become better. And I don't think you have to focus so much on the private training stuff. They'll naturally get better.
Yeah. I mean, there's kind of two things that make me think of that. Number one is, so we just finished our practice for our 7th and 8th grade kids, and we have kids that have a high level experience, some kids that don't. And one of the things that we kind of talked about last week was, hey, a kid ran a wrong route, and I told him, and then I replaced him with the next kid, and that kid ran the wrong route, and we kind of reviewed that, like, hey, listen, when someone's speaking, like when the coach is speaking, you got to learn, even if it's not directly towards you, right?
Mhm.
You got to be locked in. So, we practice once a week, right? So we went back out there and we did the same play, and the kids made that same mistake again, right? So it's like, okay, you're only going to learn so much from me as a coach.
Yeah.
I can reiterate that a few times, and eventually you'll lock in and get it. But you're going to develop more on those hand movements and all that other stuff where you're not a player that's not that experienced isn't going to focus on correcting that route if they're terrified about I got to catch the ball. I got to make sure my hands up. I got to, all of those things come second nature if you're doing that repetitively on a week, almost a daily basis or every other day basis, even just kind of screwing around, right? I mean, there's 75 footballs and basketballs in my house, right? And they're all over the place from different sizes, little squishy ones, the big ones, and like they will play with them regardless, right? So to expect a kid especially a kid that needs to grow and get better on all skill sets, with just once a week practice or once a week practice and personal training, you have to kind of ingrain it in almost their everyday life, right?
Yeah.
The other thing I was kind of thinking of, like, did you watch the basketball game yesterday, or that was this week, the final game for college? UConn
Oh, yeah.
played Michigan.
Yeah. NCAA championship. Yeah.
So, like, for some of my some kids that are a little bit older and they enjoy watching the games, you can start breaking some of that stuff down too. You don't necessarily have to do athletic things with them every day, but man, so Michigan runs a zone defense, right? And they are athletic, they are aggressive. It is astonishing. So when even to transition into a different sport, like right now, basketball's starting up for our school, and we've been practicing some of that 2-3 zone D. I can look at that game, I can watch that game, and say, look at how they're running that D. Like if a guy's moving here, another guy swaps back in it, and they're
How fluid they are, right?
Oh my God, it's wild, right? Or even on like the offensive ball movement. Like now, I could have that same conversation with NFL, right?
Mhm.
I'm like, look at how crisp that route is. Like, look at where the quarterback's looking. Look at all of those things. If you even just sit down with your kid and explain some of those things to them, like that will help them grow and develop. Not only just catching, not but that helps them understand more of the game. No?
Yeah, great point. Here's what happened the other day. Jackson is playing travel baseball right now, in addition to his football stuff, and they do leadoffs, right? And you can pick them off. And so he's new to this team because he played tackle in the fall, and we just do baseball one time a year. And I noticed him the other day getting off a leadoff base, and he wasn't really getting off third base very much, but the third baseman was 10, 15 back. So I would tell Jackson, hey, get some more of a lead over there, right? If you feel threatened, your coach will remind you, you can get back, but you got to expand that lead at third base. And we're watching a game last night, and they had an aerial view on the Rangers game, And you could see the guy about 10 feet off the base getting a good walking lead because no one was there. I said, do you see the guy right there? Do you see him getting lead? He said, yeah, I see it. I said, that's what you need to focus on, is getting more of a lead, because you'll get to home easier on a pass ball or a bad throw or whatever. And so like we're talking about that. So you make your
Right.
point, like getting kids outside to let them play more and do more sports and encourage, that's one thing. And the other thing is if they're watching it, watch it with them.
Right.
And even if you don't know what to coach, like just in watching sports, they're going to see the mannerisms, they're going to learn the game, they're going to see that stuff.
Right.
So this isn't about forcing sports down kids' throats and all that. This is, hey, I want my kids to be better athletes or more skilled or have better hand-eye coordination. What do I do? And before you call a trainer at $75 an hour and take them 1 hour a week and spend $1 gazillion doing that, do more things at home with them, or encourage more things at home for them to do.
Right.
Just playing catch, fun games with a tennis ball, playing wiffle ball, playing catch. And those actions are going to compound, and they're going to become better athletes. Molly's a perfect example. I sent you a video. She's 5.5, and we're in kindergarten. And I had her the other day. She wanted to play catch with daddy. And right, why does she play catch with daddy? Because at some point I said, hey, do you want to play catch with the football? And she sees that's something she can do with her dad.
Right.
Right. So she go out and play catch, and she's running and catching the ball on the run. Right. And she's catching 5, 6, 7 balls in a row on the run while she's running. Like, that's not a normal thing at a young age. My daughter, that doesn't mean my daughter's an exceptional athlete. That just means we just do things with her where she's catching balls and she's a part of it, and she's become more confident and skilled at doing it. That's all, at a young age. And some girls may not get that until they're 11 or 12, and now they're trying to catch a football.
Right.
But the earlier you start doing these things, it'll help them develop.
And a coach will thank you for it later.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You know, because there's nothing better than having a kid that already has a lot of those fundamentals under control.
Yeah.
You know, and then at that point, when you coach that kid, you get to level them up, right? So I can think of 10 kids off the top of my head that started where they already had those fundamentals of making the catches. And, you know, then I got to implement the routes. And then all of a sudden their confidence shoots up really fast. And now all of a sudden they're jumping and catching the ball with snapping it out of the air and then exploding up the field, you know, where you're still working on the other kids that you can tell they don't get to spend as much time doing those things and the simple fundamentals at home playing or whatever with friends or with parents or whatever. So, yeah, I think that's
Well, and as parents, what do we want our kids focused on? Like video games and laying around and watching TV, or we want them active? I'm pretty sure most parents want their kids out active. So we just have to give them things to do and get them at a young age enjoying that stuff.
right.
And then that's what they want to do. And
100%.
also on TV, they're watching sports and they're not watching YouTube. It's better for them to watch the NCAA championship game, right? Probably than watching a YouTube channel. Those things are going to develop them.
Right.
The private training comes when they really need specialization.
Unless they're watching 4 Downs with Coach Preston, then they can watch the YouTube channel.
That's YouTube only. Yeah.
They can watch that on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah.
Between the sports that they watch. Okay. Are you ready for some coaches' questions?
Let's do it.
All right. I got some doozies today. By the way, we realized that the comment section was not fully operational for YouTube. However, we have corrected that. So go ahead. If you have any questions, comment below, and we will try our best to get to them in upcoming episodes.
We don't get into why, because we just told their kids can watch it, but we had to list the YouTube video as not for kids, so that comments can be turned on.
Right. It has to be for everybody.
But it's definitely for kids. I got players that walk up in the 6th grade like, man, I watched your podcast today. I saw the comeback. I'm like, you watched the podcast?
Right.
It's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So yes, so we believe that this has been rectified. Also, like and subscribe if you appreciate the content that we're providing for you today. All right. Now with all that out of the way, what's the most common mistake youth coaches make when introducing flag football to beginners? And how can they avoid it?
They can slow down.
Yeah.
I think coaches speed through thinking they've got to teach plays and how to score touchdowns and do all that. And kids that are starting flag football need to be reminded. They just need to be shown, like, what is happening. Like, what are these sidelines? Which way do we go? What's offense? What's defense?
Right.
And I think focusing on that is going to help them progress. I think coaches, especially in kindergarten, but even first graders, right? Like, have to understand, like, it's going to be a slow season of like seeing a lot of improvements.
First graders, buddy. 5th graders, 6th graders. I don't know what you're talking about, man, but it doesn't matter. It like any player, any grade, you know. Yeah.
It takes time for them to figure it out. But the levels of taking time, a 5th grader has got to learn skills and plays. But if you told him, hey, this is offense, this is defense,
right,
he already knows offense has the ball, defense is playing defense because they played basketball and other sports in their life.
You would hope.
I would imagine.
You would hope. Sometimes
right.
though, you'd be surprised.
All right.
You'd
Well, that
be
goes back to our first segment on like get the kids out and play sports early, teach them little things, just let them go play ball.
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, they're not going to progress super fast, but you'll start to see the progression when they understand the game,
Yeah.
right? Because once they understand the game, they stop thinking about that.
Right.
But when they know which way to run on offense or on defense, they know their job is just to pull the flag. It's simple, right? But if you go into like lining up in a 4-2 and you're like, all right, we're going to run a 4-2 defense, you have to play your zone to a kindergartner. They're thinking about all the wrong things. It's like, actually, no, just stand here. And when they take the ball and they start running towards you, go pull the flag.
Yeah.
Right.
And as that kind of develops, right? Like when you start looking at routes, like as a coach, the more you have like experience with it, you get to you can identify what the kid is missing, right? If the kid's missing the simple fundamental of catching, and now he's focusing on route running, he's going to mess up one of the two, right? So then you got to walk him back and say, okay, hey, listen, that's cool. At this point, keep running on that route, and then we'll work on the hand movement and the catching, right? I think that, keep it simple is the best approach, no matter the age bracket, right? And then you can kind of cater towards playing to the level of the specific athletes. You can do that individually and then and then that will bring up the team, right? Give you a good example. Like I have a couple players that you can tell have become really good at sports, but have never played organized sports, right? So like what happens? They wind up being timid. They wind up like, oh man, I don't know. I'm like, wait a second, I've seen you play. I've seen you screwing around. I know that you're really good at catching, really know you're good at running. We're just working to incorporate that into the game now, right? So here's what I need you to do. And once you kind of get that kid comfortable, all of a sudden they're going to skyrocket, right? On the flip side of that coin, if your kid has no ability and doesn't know how to catch, doesn't know how to run, doesn't know how to pull flags, you cannot say, okay, here's the scheme. You can't just go nuts and be like, all right, blah, 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 and go get it, right? Because they're going to be like, oh my God, what? And what you're going to do is you're going to have a kid that's frozen on the field.
Yeah.
He's not going to react, right? So, yeah, I think that it's important just to kind of keep it simple, keep it super simple.
If we're talking about an entire team and just starting, teach them the game slowly. Of course, in practice one, you'll do some handoffs and teach them what to do. But like after that first game and that second game, we saw our kindergarten group, they started to understand the sidelines and the end zones and which way to go. So then you can start to progress them through more skills on like offense and defense and what you do, but just start slow. For specific individual kids at older ages, like you said, everything's confidence for them, right? So if they're not good at anything, what is the easiest thing they can learn to do very quickly?
Right.
Well, it's probably not catching a football. Now, but it's most likely pulling a flag. So let's encourage them more to pull flags. Make sure that when they're pulling flags, we're focused on that. We're getting them a lot of drills on that so that they get better at that. And then when they build confidence in that area, they feel like they're, okay, I'm a part of the game now. But it takes a while to teach a kid to catch a football.
Sure.
Especially if they're not doing it at home or they don't have a good hand-eye connection, So I think for older kids, it would be find something they're good at or find the easiest thing to help them be good and let them build confidence in that area and be good at that. And then the other stuff will start to come along as long as you're coaching them on it and telling them what they need to do.
Yeah. That's really the fine-tune part, right? Is as you start to progress with the team and you see exactly where kids are at, right? You almost like when something goes wrong on the field, especially for those smaller guys, right? That's your job as the coach to say, hey, okay, remember how we talked about this and like this is where this went wrong, right? All right, well, now we need to work on fixing it without exploding on the kid. Because exploding on the kid isn't going to help the kid at all.
No.
So yeah, just kind of keep it simple. You don't need 75 plays. You don't need 12 defensive plays. You can dumb it down so it's digestible for a kid so that they can quickly understand and then have fun on the field. Because when they're having fun on the field, they're going to play hard.
Correct.
They're going to put in 100%. And when they're confused and scared, they're not going to move. They're not going to react. And you're just going to be going backwards.
And that's when you got to focus on building confidence.
Right.
And they're practicing. They're getting better.
They're
playing. If you're not winning all the games, but they're still practicing. They're getting better. You're teaching them things. They're doing things with you that they're improving on, and that's what you're doing as a coach.
Right.
If your goal is to win every game, then you got a lot more work to put in with that group, or you need to find another group, right? But if you got a kid and you're coaching them, like just coach them up. They're going to get better and look for opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Okay. Question number 2. How do you balance teaching fundamental skills like route running and defense with keeping practices fun and engaging for your young players? I'm going to beat you to this one first before you get into it, because I don't know if we talked about this before, but one thing that I always do at the end of practice is I like to do sharks and minnows. And, you give 1 or 2 kids the shark, and then everybody else in the middle. You line up the line. They run, they try and pull flags, they build up. And here's what's really funny about this. Like, for one, it's good pulling development, right? So it's a skill and they don't even know it, right? For 2 is there are times when I'm trying to get away from it because I'm trying to learn other things. But man, these kids are like, hey coach, sharks and minnows, are we doing sharks and minnows? Like, what's
Yeah.
going on with sharks and minnows? And I'm like, okay, well, hey, yeah, no, let's do it. Because look, if they're putting in the hard work throughout that entire practice and they feel like they haven't had a fun or enjoyed their time, like, I can kind of isolate that and say, well, hey, at least we did sharks and minnows at the end, and they feel good about that when they walk off the
Correct.
field.
Yeah.
So, what are approaches for you for similar fashions as far as fundamentals? Like, what do you do to keep it interesting? Not necessarily a game at the end, but like, what do you do for fundamentals in practice to keep them
Well, you
engaged?
you you hit it. It's competitions, right? Especially as they get older. But
Right.
even for the younger kids, they enjoy that stuff. And I've done it with my group forever. They love the V drill, the V flag pulling drill, because it's competitive. And they would always ask, "Can we do it?" And I say, "Guys, we will do it at the end of practice as long as we have a good practice."
Right.
Right? Now we'd always do it at the end of practice, right? But I think we're just getting them focused so they're a part of practice, but we want them to enjoy it as well. But I think it's mixing in competitive drills with skills, right? So for my group, we'll run pass patterns, right? And we'll work on or routes per se, and we're going to run some routes, and then I'll say, hey, we're going to do one-on-ones in a little while. So let's dial in and learn and run our routes properly so that when we go to one-on-ones, we're prepared. Well, they know that like one-on-ones is competitive, right? I've got to
Mhm.
beat the other guy. So they're typically locked in on the route part, right? Because they realize there's something coming. So V drill is the same thing. So we'd have skills that we would do. We'd break up and do different things throughout the practice, whatever it is, keep them fresh, and then we would have competitions as well that we would have. For kids, I think the key is they need to do multiple things through practice. If you just show up now, correct me if I'm wrong. The only thing you don't want to do is show up and just scrimmage the entire practice.
No.
They will tell you they have a good time, but you are not going to get any better. All right. So
Right.
do not scrimmage every practice for an hour and a half and just do that. You're not teaching them anything.
Right.
But also, if you have long, boring things going on, you want to break them up smaller. So we just do a lot of, maybe 5 or 6 different drills throughout the practice. And then we do 2 or 3 competitions. And then maybe we scrimmage for 20 or 30 minutes.
Right.
Right. Even with our younger girls, right, we'll do warm ups with them, and then we'll get into teaching them how to do handoffs and their fakes and all that stuff. And then we can probably at the end, they always ask, right? They want to do flag pulling, so then we'll do a little scrimmage for 20 minutes.
Right.
Mixing it up is probably key, right?
Yeah.
To
The
get them what they need.
The kindergarten players are brutally honest.
Yeah.
They have no problem telling you how they currently feel.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, I haven't gotten the ball. Like, well, wait a second. You got the ball 4 plays ago. There's 10 of you out here.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like in the middle of this
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
You got to wait a little while.
Right. Like, it's, I understand we're doing everything, we're doing everything we can. Right. Or it's like, I didn't pull that flag, it's like, okay, but that, like, it's all right. It's okay if it doesn't happen, but they will tell you exactly,
Yeah.
more often than not, they will tell you exactly what they will do, what they won't do. Like, I'm not
Yes.
doing that. Like,
Yes. And then you got to talk them into it,
yeah.
right? Well,
Like, all right, you're going to get the ball. No, I'm not.
yeah.
Like, yeah, no, yes.
It's your turn.
Yeah, it's,
You just asked for it.
yeah, like you have to it's the handoff for you now. I don't want to do that. Like, okay. Like, all right, so you tell me when you're good to go. Like, okay, we'll just move on. Like, you gotta do it. It's kind of case by case.
Yeah.
Like, I got a skill for us later that I'll show, but it's in that similar fashion where when I'm competing, when I want the kids to run a drill and have it be competitive, what I'll also do is if it's a speed drill or like it's a drill that there's more athleticism, I'll do my best to kind of even out the lines if it's not one-on-one. Like, kids that are the faster will be split up. Kids that maybe are medium speed will be split up, and then kids that maybe are just lacking that coordination or need more development, I'll make sure that I'll try and pair that off as close as I can as
Yeah.
well, so that it's
That's what-
equal for the competition.
Correct.
I think that's important too. Otherwise, you just put all the good players on one side and just blow the other players out that are still developing on the other side. It's like, okay, well, they're not going to have a good time. They're done. Right.
Yeah.
So,
Coaches, when you're coaching, you've got to look over everything. That
Oh,
means if
boy.
you're doing a relay race, break them up evenly or it'll be a disaster.
Right.
But so kids need to enjoy practice, right? And they need to walk away. So you need to do some things at practice they enjoy. For young
Yeah.
kindergartners, sometimes at the end, you can just do relay race.
Yeah.
And they just run and race. Like they don't care. They have fun. They leave and they're happy
Right.
and they're engaged and they're locked in, right? So just doing multiple things and not letting them get bored by just focusing on doing one thing the entire practice, I
Yeah.
guess.
If you go back to some of our other episodes, recently we were doing the orange jumpy things, right? As
Yeah,
Tay
yeah.
likes to call them, and now it's just what I'm going to call them. So now I've been incorporating that with my 5, 6 kids, my 5th grade, 6th graders and stuff, because some of them aren't that coordinated and they need to develop. Well, guess what? As I'm setting it up, and the 7th grade, 8th grade team's going up next, so Jax, my older boy, is with me. He's like, "All right, what else? What do I need to do?" So he starts doing it by himself, right?
Yeah.
So that means he's having fun doing it. Like,
Yes.
okay, all right, what else can I do? Right? Okay, well, now do it just left foot. Like, now do it just right foot. So, like, having those different drills and those different things set up, you could tell they want to do it just because of the fact that it's out there. If it's even set up and it's not even his time to practice and he wants to do it. So I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, cool. So
perfect.
these things are working out well.
You
So,
introduce them to the kids, and they just love to do it. The girls are the same way. We're setting them up, and they're going through them like, whoa, we haven't started practice yet. We're just
Right.
setting up, and they're jumping over the
yeah.
orange jumpy things, the speed
Orange-
hurdles.
speed hurdles. That's,
Yeah.
that's the proper terminology.
Yeah.
I call them orange jumpy things
Yeah.
as my daughter has named them that. So, all right, question number 3. What's your advice for coaches who are working with mixed skill rosters, kids who never played alongside kids with years of experience? This is something that we kind of just briefly scratched into, as far as like making sure that they're divided up when it comes to competition as evenly as you possibly can. But yeah, what are some of the plans for kids that, when you're playing skilled kids and kids that you're trying to develop a little bit, that are a little bit less experienced?
Yeah. Like we went earlier for this, it's just slow down as a
Right.
coach, right? I think we want to go full speed ahead, and we got to do all these things, but like slow down. And depending on what your drill you're doing, put them in the right line so they're getting better, or split them up into 2 different groups for certain drills so that you can coach these kids that are more advanced, right? And help them along and press them. And the other group, you can teach them more basic skills, right? If you're doing routes and stuff, I'll put the really good route runners over there, and the kids are just learning on this side. And then
Right.
we'll coach them differently,
Right.
right? So I think the key is to slow down and start to split them up a little bit so that you can coach them that way and throughout everything you're doing. And that's probably the best way to do it so that you're bringing them all along. But you don't want to mix the challenge kids in with the non-challenge kids, I guess, if that's the word. The kids that aren't doing as well, you don't want to mix them in together in certain
Yeah,
drills
less
because,
experienced kids.
yeah, less experienced. Some aren't going to get it. They're going to get challenged as much, and other ones need more and that kind of stuff. So
Right.
we split them up a little bit and figure it out. But as a coach, you just have to slow down and think about, hey, how can I make this good for everybody? And a lot of times that's good. The idea is to separate them for
Right.
certain drills and teach them accordingly.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially as your grades kind of go up higher, right? And you start going through those phases. Yeah, like I have 2 teams, and there are kids that don't understand routes yet, right? And this is their 2nd or 3rd season. We're continuing to work with them, right? And then there are kids that, I can rattle off 3 different things at this point and say, hey, like, this is what I want. I want, I want a 1, but I want it whipped and whatever. Or I can say, hey, 9 stop and go or whatever, and like he understands, and I can give him terms and lingo. So making sure that those kids are continuing to stay engaged and leveling them up,
Yeah.
so that, for one, it's going to be beneficial for the whole team, right? Um, Especially when things are going sideways and you need a big play, then you can just drop the lingo, drop the terms, and
Yeah.
that kid's going to succeed for you, or hopefully succeed, so that you can advance, get another 4 downs, get your first down or whatever, and then also continue to develop those other kids that aren't running cut or hard routes. They're just running roundabouts, and they're not looking for the ball, or they're dropping the ball. So, focusing individually on that will develop the team as a whole,
Yeah.
right? Um,
Well, and there's a benefit for the kids that aren't as experienced watching the other kids too. So in certain drills, maybe get up to put them behind them and say, "Hey, let's watch these guys do that."
right,
A lot of times you have 8 kids in a team. You're probably not going to have 4 experienced, 4 non-experienced. It's probably
yeah,
2
it's
non-experienced and 6. So you can
right,
mix them in. Make sure you're coaching them and slowing things down for them though. And then let's just say you have 5 inexperienced kid and 1 really good football player. Like, what do I do? How do I? Well, a lot of your coaching is on the inexperienced kid. Well, let's put the experienced player up front and let's tell them, hey, I'm going to let you lead every line that we do. Every
right,
drill we do, you're the leader. Like I want you to show these kids how to do it, and they're going to watch you do it. So now you're actually putting them in a position of leadership, right? Of showing like, hey, you're at the front of the line. You're going to do this right. And so yeah, he didn't have guys to compete against, but he has a job. And that's like, man, I got to be good at what I do. I'm going to do it right. So that I'm showing those guys, right? That would be something I would do if you have one or two experienced kids and a
Right.
bunch of inexperienced kids.
I see you doing that, on the field now, right? Like when we're coaching the kids, I see you do when it comes to setting up. You put specific players up front, right?
Hmm.
We have video footage of some of this stuff now, which is funny. It's so comical,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes they'll make the show.
Yeah, no, we've
sometimes they
got, Mike's got these meta glasses.
Yeah.
And so he films practices.
Yeah.
And I don't even think about him filming a lot of times. So he just gets good content. He's got some funny things that I say or we say
Oh,
with the
yeah.
kids. It's just hilarious.
With the
So we'll-
kindergarten kids, it's hilarious.
my niece, well, I just tell him, dude, we'll bring
Yeah.
the video out, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
My niece is, she just turned 6 and she's kindergarten. And she is one of our best flag pullers, man.
She's a bull.
Oh, she flies around the field. She dives. I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of times, like there's contact, and we teach her, hey, don't do
Right.
that.
Hey, don't do that.
She plays hard, man, and I love it.
Yeah.
But she is. We were doing footwork drills the other day, and we started with the hurdles. And she's an athletic little girl.
So you
But
know
this
exactly
day,
the video I'm talking about.
this day, she was doing her hops over the speed hurdles or the jumpy hurdles, and she blew stepped on every one of them. They were springing up and flying all over the place. And we went to a cone drill,
Yep.
and she was doing it, but she was just like running over the cone as if she was running. And I was like, man, Olivia, you are a linebacker, girl. You are not. And so I just say that she's just playing. I'm like, yeah, you're a linebacker. All right,
Right.
get the back of line.
Right.
And I just say that, right, and
Yeah.
just gets on video. So
It's
probably something we'll put
hilarious.
out. But she's a bull, that's for sure.
Yeah, she is. She's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole
Well,
kids. all the
what's
players
most
are
fun
awesome.
about it is like you have in our girls team, but even on boys, like you have players that are more timid and
Right.
more, and on the girls, you never typically you'd think timid, right? But we have some girls that fly around, man.
Yeah, they
Like,
don't
they
care.
don't slow down.
No, yeah.
Like at practice, they're running into each other, pulling
Yeah.
flags, and they just like they love it that much, which is fun to see because
Yeah.
they're playing tough and they're playing hard, right? And
Yeah. And that means that we're doing something right. 'Cause
Right.
you know what? Like I even see that replicated into my CYS, right? Or like our youth sports for school. And like, we've had other coaches on the other team like you're running plays. Like, how are you doing that? Like, this is a set of kids that had zero experience, aside from Teddy.
Yeah.
There's 8 other kids that have never played football before, right? Or on defense, they're excited, right? So when the ball goes, they swarm, they attack, right? Where the other teams, you see the ball goes and nobody moves,
yeah,
right? So it's like, okay, well, it isn't necessarily the kids. It's what you're doing to cultivate those kids, to get them comfortable, to get them excited, to get
Yeah.
them to playing the game.
in
right?
practice, yeah.
So super important. But yeah, it's funny. You knew exactly what I was talking
Yeah,
about.
we'll bring some of this. It's funny stuff because it's just
All right. So now that we've kind of covered that, let's get into. I have a skill set here.
you got a skill.
Yeah, I have a skill that I want to
Yeah.
introduce. I want to show to you real quick. I haven't sent it to you yet. I'm going to send it to you right now. I want to get your opinion on it because I'm going to tell you one thing. As far as my social media feeds are concerned, as far as like Instagram or anything like that, it now consists of mainly 3 things. One is coaching skills and drill sets that always come across as far as development. The other thing is basketball drills. And the third thing is people getting punched. So I don't know how that integrates, but those are the 3 things that I see on my feed all the time. And I came across this one. I thought it was really good.
Is this the people getting punched, or is
This is not people getting punched. This is what I believe is called an S drill. And what I did was I separated the team. This is my 5th grade, 6th grade team. I separated them, tried to keep it kind of even, and I kind of ran a competition. So they're running through this S, and then after that, in the rain, I mean, these poor kids, they're going against each other, and then once they reach the end, then the next kid would go, and some
Yeah.
kids are better than others, obviously, right?
No, this is a great drill. So this is teaching them to run. So a lot of kids run in a straight line, right? And they
Right.
run well, but they don't run very well when they have to manipulate their body and footwork and balance and all that. But this is a great drill to teach them to continue to be balanced while they're running and weaving in and out. So it teaches them body control, essentially, right? And you want them to go fast as they can in this drill. If they're jogging, it doesn't do much good.
Right.
But teach them to go fast, because in the football world, that's what's happening. You're chasing across the field at a player, and then he cuts back, and you got to be able to manipulate your body to go back to him. And the quicker you can get to him, right,
Right.
without running a straight line, is exactly what sports is, right? So this is a great drill to run, and over and over again. Like, you know, you probably do this drill. Everybody can probably do this drill and you can have it done in 2 minutes and they can probably get 3 or 4 reps each if you go fast, right?
That's correct.
So 3 minutes of practice for 6 weeks, and these kids can do this drill 25 times. They're going to get significantly better athletically just being able to weave in and out.
Yeah. So I also was told that it helps develop ankle strength, which is something that doesn't happen
Yeah.
a lot. And just like you know, crude layman's terms of me not knowing anything, like the tendons, the ACLs, and all that other stuff, just because of how they shift. You know, and to kind of prevent injuries as they kind of get older. This helps develop those muscle groups too.
Yeah, you're essentially putting like random, for lack of a better, random pressures on these joints and things like that. That
Right.
your body doesn't know what's happening until it's hitting the ground and you're doing it. If you start running in a straight line over and over again, your body kind of knows what's happening, right? But when you start tweaking it and doing it in different motions like that, you're building ankle strength and all those tendons. And ankle strength is huge for sprinting, jumping, explosion, and all that. I mean, there's tons of videos out there of a lot of different ankle exercises kids can do.
Right.
That's why we do the jumpy things, the hopping drill,
Jumpy
because
things.
you're building strength in your ankles, which actually is going to build explosion for sprinting and running and all that. So this is a great drill for all that.
Okay.
I love it.
Perfect. So there you go. There's a drill that you can incorporate.
Yep. All you
it-
need's 4 or 8 cones and you bang it out of practice.
That's it. And
Yeah.
then you can separate your team into 2, and
You
then
can do competitions with that.
yeah, because I'll tell you right now, when I set them up side by side, boy, did they run.
Yeah.
You know, they were going all out. I think if it was just a single set, some of the players, they wouldn't have ran as hard,
Hey,
right?
we encourage competition, and we talk about this a couple episodes. We encourage competition because you're going to get the best out of your kids when they do that, right? Now, that doesn't mean 3-on-3 scrimmage competition, of course. It means when you're doing specific drills, right?
Right.
This is a great drill to do because there's cones involved, and the only thing you have to focus on as a coach is, right, they need to do it right, right? If they're weaving full speed, they're good. Now, some kids might run directly over those cones. We have to coach them to do it right so they're actually getting the benefit from it. But this is a great drill to do with competitions because you're going to get them going full speed doing this, and it's going to continue to push their bodies to the max, right?
Right.
Some competitions may not be good for that because they're not going to do them well, right? They're not going to do the actual drill well. You want to make sure you're coaching right. But I love this drill, and that you got them doing that for sure.
You know what's funny is my seventh grade, 8th grade teams, I did the same drill. Now that you mentioned kind of running over the cones, like I didn't notice, but another coach noticed that there were one set of kids. They just ran. They didn't really do the weaving. He's like, "Hey, let's spread them out a little bit." So we just spread them out just enough where they had to run a little bit more. And all of a sudden, it's like, hey, you know, this is why, right? We need you we're trying to teach you something. It's not like, yes, it's competitive. Yes, it's a race, but you have to do it the right way.
Man, any drill we do with competition, you again, I'd say the coach, you can't just say, guys, go do that and go stand over there and talk.
Right.
You can. You're just keeping them busy, but they're not getting better.
No.
But if you stand there and you make sure they're doing it right, they're generally going to get better. And just like you said, the kids in the competition will try to cut corners.
Right.
But as coaches, I'll ding them. I'll say, look, if someone cuts that cone off right there, I'm going to take 3 seconds off your final time, right? And then I'll take 3 seconds off of time, and they'll start doing it right. And now we're getting their full effort and ability in doing something, and they're getting better, and they're doing it right. That's when you start to get improvements. Right. So make sure if you're doing competitions, coaches, you're making sure the kids are doing the drill properly.
Perfect. Okay. Do you have a play for us today?
Yeah, we're gonna go over a what we call, what I put in. It's not an actual play, it's a route, but it's a dig whip.
Okay.
Right. So we went over the dig, throwing the ball across the middle, and now we're going to show you how and why we'd run a dig whip to get open on the outside.
Okay. Perfect. Let's go to
the
the board.
All right, Mike. So what we're going to go over today is I'm going to show you a specific route, and you know, again, it's a route you're not going to run all the time, but you can check into it. And we have specific combos that we run. Well, we'll run our outside guys on dig routes, right? And this is a 5-1 defense,
Mm-hmm.
all right, which means, and it's a cover 3, so it means our outside corners are going to drop deep and cover these third, and then the safety has to drop into the deep third, right? So a lot of times we'll run, say from the inside guy here, we'll run a post, right, to take the safety back, and then we'll run the dig underneath because we know the safety has to drop with that post, and when he takes off, then we're throwing across the deep middle up here, right? But the dig route is the 6 route, all right? That means you're running about 12, probably 10 to 15 yards, depending on the age group, and you're running across the middle of the field, and your window is going to be in between, kind of in between these linebackers that stay up and right underneath in here, okay? Now, what I found was that these outside corners will bail really hard sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and we can help them bail by running someone at them, but they have to stay back. And when we run this dig, if we run it once or twice, a lot of times the safety will try to come up, right? And you'll see his eyes. Like we'll run a dig and I'll see the safety come up and he'll try to sit right here and pick this ball off. So what I called in a specific play was a 6 whip, a dig whip from the outside. All right. Now the best way to run this is to run your inside guy on a deep corner to take this guy away,
Which is a 7.
which is this is a slot right here. So my center's here. This is my inside slot, and this is my outside receiver.
Yeah, but that's a 7 route.
I'm sorry, the 7 route. I thought you said center. Yes, that is the 7 route. Correct.
Okay.
Right. So
6, 7.
what we're trying to do here, since we're doing a dig whip, the word whip we talked about before means you're going to start running your route, and then you're going to whip back in the other direction, right? So the dig whip means he starts coming in this way, and then he's going to come back to the sideline,
Okay.
10 to 12 yards. We want to make sure that this outside corner keeps back, right? So that he doesn't come up on this play. So we would run a corner route in behind him. This takes the corner back to pick up this receiver here. And then we have plenty of room to push inside and whip back out. And then we'll catch the ball right in the zone.
Okay.
Now, on this specific play, I checked the dig whip. I did not check a 7 route here.
Okay.
Why? Because the corner was just bailing so hard. We knew we had the underneath. What I was trying to do is push this route in a little bit so that the safety comes down, right? And we knew he was doing that, and then we were just going to hit the zone for a quick first down.
Okay. So it was a quick first down, but even if it is a quick first down, it's almost isolated where it's going to be 1 versus 1. And we all know that potentially in flag football, there are odds that that guy may miss the flag,
Yep.
right? And you could, at that point, there's nobody else to help.
Correct.
He's going wherever that is on the field. He's going all the way.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Yeah. So, and I try to keep it fresh on offense. So when we run certain plays or certain routes a lot, right, you can see the defense starts to come down on them, and that's when I would check out of it. So in this specific play, I knew that we'd hit dig a few times, and I knew that they were expecting that was coming. So then I just ran a dig whip to hit the opposite space. And it's a timing play too. It's a long throw for the quarterback.
It is.
So it gives the quarterback a chance to kind of get out here, set up, and then make the sideline throw.
And it's going to be tougher in your 7th and 8th grade teams because it's only 3 seconds to throw that ball.
Yeah.
Right. So you're going to need some speed on the outside. Now, where did you said that you didn't put in this play that you're going to show us your center receiver. He was not running a 7. What was he?
No, when we get to the play, I'll look and tell you exactly what combo it was and
Gotcha.
what he's done. But I think we were going fast and just moving quickly. And because I'd seen this corner dropping so hard, I didn't need anything here from this guy to help out. I knew we were going to hit this play.
Okay.
A lot of times we run a fast-paced offense, so it's just quick decision making.
Yeah, I know. I play against you. I know. Okay. All right. Let's go to the video.
Okay, Mike. So here we're going to run this play on the left-hand side of the screen. We have the defense. On the right-hand side is the offense. This is they're in a 5-1. So at the bottom down here, we've got our cornerback, middle linebacker, another linebacker. The outside corners right here in green at the top of the screen.
And he's cheating back.
What's that? And he's playing back, and then our safety's right here. He's playing back because, again, his job is literally just to drop in coverage and not give up the deep ball. In this 5-1, having short passes thrown over here is not a problem. You want to give that up. It's a long throw.
Mhm.
You just cannot get beat deep. So he's already cheating back. We probably pressed him a few times on maybe comebacks or go balls. So he's cheating back. And this particular receiver probably caught quite a few balls this game, so he's thinking we're keying on him here, which we are. So your safety in the middle of the field's job is to drop back. And we're going to we've run a couple digs and caught the ball in the middle of the field in front of the safety. So now we're going to run this dig whip, if you follow yellow, and he's going to whip back out to the sideline. And this corner has been dropping pretty heavy, so we know we have the underneath throw.
Okay. So now also your offense, you displayed that in the offense with the spread offense, where this is your offense, it's spread, but your inside receivers are actually tighter to the center in this scenario.
Yeah, correct. So on the board over there, I was probably more focused on the specific route we're running here,
Right.
not knowing. So we are we probably called 91 from the sideline, which goes on the outside and 5-yard outs from the slots.
Mm-hmm.
So we probably went into a 91, and then what I did was I saw that he was playing back, knowing he was going to drop. So I checked my blue to a 6, which is a dig, and a whip. So I said blue 6 whip, and then I checked my orange receiver to an out whip as well to hold the linebacker down.
Okay.
So if you wanted the whole call, it'd probably be 91, check blue 6 whip, orange whip, and I'm holding the inside guy down, and then we're going to whip this guy out.
Okay.
And we go here,
Now we
and
play.
we're going to play it now. So see, he's pushing. Now he starts to make his break to the inside, and this guy's eyes, he's feeling the wide receiver come in. Now his eyes are on the quarterback. He's starting to plant his foot. And the reason is he's starting to plant his feet because he's feeling like, hey, they're going to hit this dig again, right? He's
Right.
not attacking the guy. He's planting his feet in the middle of the field. And this is where our guy whips right out and makes the probably 12-yard catch for the first down. Whips out, catches the ball, and you got your DB that was dropping the corner really heavily. We have 2 or 3 yards of separation right there,
Right.
right? So I'm going to drop this back one more time. We'll run through it one more time. You watch the corner start to drop, feeling like he's got to get back. And then we're just catching that ball in that little window over there for the first down that this linebacker, this outside linebacker, one more time, can't get to it, right? So we're just looking for small spaces to get this ball fit into, right? A lot of defenders, and we haven't run this whip yet. If he comes across on this dig, very likely this DB is going to probably punch this ball out or maybe intercept it, right? He's in close proximity, so whipping out gave us a little window. Catch that ball there. So that's the dig whip. Again, dig whip is not like a common call. We're going to go back to screen. The dig whip is not necessarily like a common play that you're going to run, right? You can run a whip on pretty much anything.
Right.
But we saw that we would have an ability to get back to the sideline. We've ran a ton of comebacks at that point. We ran a ton of outs at that point. So what's another way for us to get to that sideline and show them something we haven't done before? We showed the dig, which put them in positions that they assumed the dig was coming, and then we whip right back into that zone.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, other players are open on this in that play. If you go back and you look at that play, there is. I'm assuming at this point in this play in particular, it's third down.
Yep.
And you probably need the first.
Exactly what it
right?
was.
So that window was perfectly open, right? And running that whip in that scenario, obviously that isn't something that you're going to put on a player that isn't your most skilled or isn't your best skilled player in that position, I would assume, right?
Right.
So this is something that's more kind of individually taught, I would guess, because it's not very common. But like when you say whip and you say it to a couple of players that are a little more advanced, they get it where you can audible that instantly.
Yeah. So you usually have a couple players, and this particular player on our team is one that knows all the routes, all the combos, and in these scenarios, he's a better player for these routes, right? If we're needing 5 yards, we're throwing to the underneath guy and taking the 5 yard out all day.
Right.
He works mid to deep balls for a lot of intermediate and deep balls. So he runs our comebacks, our digs, our post corners. He's run a lot of that stuff this game already, and I think this is where I said, hey, they've seen a lot of this other stuff. Now we got to show them something different because we're getting tighter on windows. This is a very good defensive team right here that we play.
Right.
And I knew that the way they were dropping into their coverage and what they were expecting, we could run that dig whip for one play and hit it, and it worked. But you're right. Like, this is a more advanced play with a more advanced player.
Right.
Right. But it just shows you as a coach, like, you can get creative to start adding different things in for certain players that you can use in tight situations to make plays.
So, and generally speaking, right. So you want to make sure that this is how you challenge those kids that are advanced on your team. Kind of bring it back to one of our questions. Like, this is a thing that you show that kid that is, has all the skill sets, has all the abilities, and you're looking to level them up. This is a prime example of that.
Yeah.
Right. And making that kid better while making the other kids better at the same time, will make sure that, for one, everybody's having a good time, which is the most important. And for two, that when like the game's on the line or the position that something needs to happen, you've already integrated these other options for this kid to understand it and not feel the pressure, just feel comfortable to go out and play. And then you got a spot throw that's perfect.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So do you have anything else to add for today?
Like and subscribe, comment below. We need questions for next week.
Yep.
They have been coming in. Give some questions on some comments.
Yeah. And now you have the ability to do that. So that's
because
super important.
we've been getting some email questions and stuff, but now we have comments open.
Yeah, now you can
we
comment
figured that
on
out. So
yeah.
comment below, email your questions, like and subscribe, and then we'll see you next week for episode 13.
That's it.
Thanks,
man.
Mike.
Thank you. All right, bye.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain.